Flight 921. Inspector Rachel, dressed in her crisp navy blue uniform, cross-sat in her car outside the bustling international terminal. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple. She adjusted her sleek navy blazer and glanced at the manila folder resting on the passenger seat. Inside it were her instructions. Go undercover on Flight 921 to thwart a smuggling operation suspected of using international flights to move stolen artifacts. The stolen cargo was reported to be priceless, ancient artifacts from an archaeological dig in Southeast Asia. Intelligence hinted that a few passengers on Flight 921 were involved. Inspector Rachel had been selected for the job because of her reputation for solving high-stakes cases. Time to play passenger, she muttered, pocketing her badge and stepping out of the car. Inside the terminal, the scene was chaotic. Families hugged goodbye, travelers rushed to gates, and announcements echoed over the speakers. Maya's sharp eyes scanned her surroundings, cataloging details like an artist painting a mental picture. She spotted her target flight on the departure board, Flight 921 to Athens. She proceeded to the check-in counter, where she received her boarding pass with an economy-class seat. She had to blend in. Her disguise was simple yet effective. Inspector Rachel, dressed in her crisp navy blue uniform, her official role as an undercover agent was only known to the authorities and the airline's Chief Purser, Elena Dawson. Inspector Rachel's phone buzzed as she approached security. A message from her superior flashed on the screen. Trust your instincts. Keep it low profile. Good luck. She slid the phone back into her pocket, a small smile playing on her lips. It was going to be a long flight. As Inspector Rachel walked down the jet bridge and into the plane, she was greeted by the Chief Purser. Elena Dawson's polished demeanor and calm aura immediately impressed her. Elena's uniform was immaculate, and her sharp eyes hinted at a keen sense of awareness. Inspector Cross, Elena whispered discreetly while handing Inspector Rachel a boarding map. Welcome aboard. Let me know if you need anything. Inspector Rachel nodded, appreciating Elena's professionalism. As she moved through the cabin, she discreetly observed the passengers. Her seat was toward the rear of the plane, giving her a vantage point to monitor the cabin. A quick glance revealed a mix of travelers, tourists, business people, and families. However, her attention was drawn to a couple seated 2 rows ahead of her. Their hushed tones and frequent glances at the crew raised a red flag. The boarding process concluded, and the plane pushed back from the gate. As Flight 921 ascended into the clouds, Inspector Rachel mentally reviewed her plan. The smugglers were rumored to be using hidden compartments in the cargo hold. Her challenge was to identify them, stop their operation, and ensure the safety of the passengers without causing panic. Hours into the flight, the cabin lights dimmed for the night segment. Passengers settled into their seats, some watching movies, others sleeping. Inspector Rachel remained alert, her instincts sharpened. The couple she'd noticed earlier became more suspicious. The man whispered something to the woman, and she nodded before discreetly slipping toward the lavatory. Minutes later, the man followed. Inspector Rachel's mind raced. Were they communicating with someone? Trying to access the cargo hold? She decided to wait and observe before taking action. Her opportunity came when the woman returned to her seat and casually slipped an object into her bag. Inspector Rachel made a mental note to investigate further. A sudden announcement interrupted her thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing turbulence. Please fasten your seatbelts. The plane shook slightly, and the cabin crew moved quickly to ensure everything was secure. Amid the commotion, Inspector Rachel noticed the man from the suspicious couple attempting to get up. She immediately stood, moving toward Elena in the galley. We might have a problem, Inspector said in a low voice. She explained her observations, and Elena's expression grew serious. What do you need? Elena asked. Access to the cargo area and backup in case things get messy, Inspector Rachel replied. Elena nodded. Give me a moment to coordinate with the crew. With Elena's help, Inspector slipped into the service elevator leading to the cargo hold. The dimly lit space was filled with luggage and storage containers. Maya moved cautiously, her flashlight cutting through the darkness. The sound of hushed voices confirmed her suspicions. The man and woman were tampering with a large crate marked fragile. Step away from the crate, Inspector Rachel commanded, her voice firm. The flashlight beam landed on the duo, who froze in surprise. "Who are you?" the man demanded, his hand inching toward his pocket. "Don't," Inspector Rachel warned, drawing a small stun device from her jacket. "Let's not make this harder than it needs to be." The woman lunged toward Rachel, but years of training kicked in. Inspector Rachel sidestepped and subdued her swiftly. The man hesitated before surrendering, realizing he was outmatched. Elena appeared with two crew members. "We'll secure them and notify the authorities," she said. "Check the crate," Rachel instructed. Inside, they found the stolen artifacts wrapped in layers of protective material. Relief washed over Rachel. The mission was successful. The rest of the flight passed without incident. Rachel remained vigilant, ensuring the smugglers were securely restrained. When Flight 921 touched down in Athens, law enforcement was waiting. The suspects were handed over, and the artifacts were recovered safely. As the passengers disembarked, unaware of the drama that had unfolded, Rachel thanked Elena and the crew. "You were incredible," Elena said. "We couldn't have done this without you." "Teamwork," Rochelle replied with a smile. "That's what keeps the skies safe." Back at headquarters, Rachel filed a report. The success of Flight 921 was another win in her career, but she knew it wouldn't be her last challenge. As she prepared for her next mission, she reflected on the lessons learned. Vigilance, courage, and the power of collaboration could overcome any obstacle. Her parting thought: every flight is a journey, and every journey holds the potential for heroism.